Where it's the world famous TITT is home team in the motherfucking house.
No question.
As always, it is Davis backwards and who state your name, gangsta?
Philmatic 365, aka No Fly Phil. What's going on, baby?
Hey man, we are always honored to be able to do this show, to be able to talk about the culture that is somewhat, for lack of a better word, a religion to us and many others. But also, no disrespect to other interests, but to some others, man, the hustle is a religion, and I think the individual that we're about to talk to today, I think he definitely personifies the meaning of hustling and just black excellence, man. So without any further ado, Philmatic, let the people know who we're going to be speaking to tonight.
Absolutely, man. It's so great, man, when you get to talk to artists and entertainers and everything, and then they're as genuine as you hope they would be, as you imagine that they might be based on their work. But it's such another thing when you actually get to build with somebody that you genuinely know in the flesh, and you can honestly say 100% for certain they are the person that they project themselves to be. The gentleman we're going to talk to tonight is one of those people, man. He's one of the truest people I've met in my lifetime, and it just so happens he's one of the best businessmen too. I mean, he is the founder, CEO of Talley and Twine watch company, as seen in the Huff Post, the Virginia Pilot, Black Enterprise, and so many other publications. You talk about black excellence, you talk about black entrepreneurship, and ladies and gentlemen, I bring you my brother, CEO of Talley and Twine watch company, Mr. Randy Williams. What's going on, family?
Yo, can you hear me?
There you go.
Hey, thanks for the intro, man. Hey, right after the intro, it went out. You froze up. So I was like, man, that's horrible timing, man. But thank you, man. Thank you for the kind words, man. I'm happy to be here, talk with you guys. I love the energy. And I like how you guys, you're not affected by the time like I am. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's because I'm a new father. But, yes. I'm feeling the lag right now. I just gave her a bath, put her in the bed, but I'm thriving off your energy right now. So we're gonna
say no more, man. We veterans in this, man.
Nighttime is the right time, man. Your day don't officially start until you put the kids to bed. That's what we always say.
Absolutely.
Hey Randy, man. Hey, look, I'm somebody that has been watching you. I've heard great things about you. Obviously, I've met Deanne before. She's actually from my neighborhood in Norfolk. So, man, yeah. Big shout to you guys.
Yes, sir. About you all the time, but I never knew that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I went to Maury High School, went to Blair Middle School, and yeah, my mother's house is like literally like 30 seconds away from the Bradley residence. So,
nice.
Big shout to you guys, man, and your marriage and your fatherhood, parenthood. I mean, we want to just get to talk about all of those things because it definitely it goes into what we say, man. Everything is hip hop. So whether it's fatherhood, whether it's being a husband, whether it's entrepreneurship, everything is hip hop to us. So why don't you just start out and just let the people know just a little bit about yourself and just how you got started on your journey.
Yeah, man, no problem. Let me see if I got my
there we go.
Camera on. I don't want to be impersonal, but yeah, man. I'm originally from Georgia, man. Very, very small town in Georgia, town called Camilla, Georgia, and all my life I've been starting what I call businesses. People might call them hustles. Or I remember, I did stuff I saw on TV first. First, I started a lemonade stand. I sat out there all day. I remember I sat out there, man, from 5 to 8, and nobody bought any lemonade. Then I remember my next business was I would get Slam magazine. You know Slam magazine. That's hip hop. I remember AI was on the cover of that thing,
Yep.
and I used to tear the pages out of there of people dunking on people. And I try to go to the basketball court and sell them for like 25 cents a page.
Yes.
And you know, of course, when I got to high school, man, I had some other stuff too. But when I got to high school, I was selling candy, you know, until I got caught, you know, and you know, it just continued from there, man. So I always wanted to be what I call a businessman, what I know now to be an entrepreneur. And I got started to watch business because basically, man, I like watches, and I wanted to design something that I wanted to wear.
Nice.
Now, full disclosure, I'm somewhat of a watch fanatic. Philmatic is not. Blame that on his left-handism. But no, Phil, just since he did mention watches, and you know you're amongst two guys that like watches, tell us why you don't like wearing watches.
I've always you heard me say before, I'm worth more than a Rollie. But no, I used to get watches as a kid every year for my birthday and or for Christmas, and I'd always break or lose them like immediately. So I just was like, yo, it wasn't meant to be, man.
But nothing happened to your tennis shoes, though, right?
Absolutely not, sir. Always fresh. But no, seriously though, I got a Jordan watch when I was like in 5th or 6th grade. Loved this watch. Oh, it was made by Wilson too, so you know it was even better because it had my name on it. Cracked the face like 3 days after I got it. Still wore it though. Couldn't see nothing on it. You know what I mean? But it had Jordan in one of the dunk poses on it, so it was what it was. But yeah, and then it feel weird on my wrists. I've been trying for a long time, and I said, yo, I have to support my brother, so I'm gonna have to man up, be a grown man about this, and get me a watch. I need a Whirly.
Yeah, you need that. I'm gonna shoot Jasmine a DM, man, and let her know. I'm here, baby.
No doubt, man. Well, I tell you this though, if you will never see me with a watch that is not made by Talley and Twine. I promise you that. If you
I expect that.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever have a watch, so when I'm on the red carpet, when we all big time, all three of us, yo, I'll be you know, when they ask me what I'm wearing, I won't even know the name of the suit maker, but I'll know who made my watch.
Off top, most definitely.
All right, Randy. So for our listeners, man, just let us know. All right, they got a little bit of your background, Georgia. You know, fascinated with business and entrepreneurship. Man, let people know like just what started your journey into starting a watch company though. Like that's just not something that, you know, that we hear every day. Like what started that process?
Yeah, man. I remember getting a watch for every major occasion after I got married, and even before. You know, my wife would always give me a watch for birthday, Christmas, and after a while, once I got my collection up to date, you know, I had a few pieces. I had maybe about 10 watches or so, and after a while, it was becoming harder and harder for her to find watches that I liked. And like I said earlier, I wanted to make something that I would wear, but I couldn't find it. You know, it would always be something missing. So I would pick up a watch. I'd be like, okay, this watch is cool. I like the design, but it's cheap. Or this watch is nice, but I would change this and I would change that. And what I found is that most of the watch companies right now, with the only a few exceptions, but especially the sub $1,000 watches, most of them are just copying what the big brands are doing. You know, they just play it safe and they make a fake Daytona Rolex, or you know, they mimic the bezel of another watch. And I didn't want to do that. You know, I wasn't going to buy a $1,000 watch, and I didn't want to act like I had on a Rolex if it wasn't really a Rolex. And so I said, ding, 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 there's a need in the market for something that's a little bit original, something that's quality, but something that's not going to cost $1,000. And on my way back to work from my lunch break, I gave my wife a call one day. And I asked her, I said, what do you think about me starting a watch company? And she said, yeah, go for it. And I went up to my office that day after lunch, and I started sketching out the ideas for Talley and Twine, man. That's really how it started.
So you designed the original design of the watches. You did those yourself.
Yeah, I did.
Nice. So how does one get a watch made? Once you sketch this out, like how does that process? I mean, like, how do you go about getting the actual physical prototype?
Yeah, it was a scary process, man. After I sketched it out, I kind of didn't know what to do, so I did my Googles. I went to Google University and I started researching on how to do this stuff. So come to find out, there was some people that could take my sketch and make it a 3D model, you know. Actually something else, I can't think of the name, but I went there, I hired this independent contractor, and I paid them a couple $100 to do a 3D model for me based on my sketch. So we went back and forth on that until we got it right. And then I took that 3D model and I presented that to a manufacturer. Said, hey, look, this is what I want to make, you know, can you make it? And they started to make me samples. So I spent, you know, a couple $1,000 going back and forth on making those samples till I got the watch just right. And that's pretty much the process. You know, if you're dealing with a manufacturer that has done it before, they don't need as much one-on-one coaching. You know, it's kind of what they do. So if you go to a watch manufacturer, they know how to take your design and really make it to your standards.
Nice.
Tell us, Talley and Twine. What is that?
The name?
Yeah.
Yeah, Talley and Twine is actually an intersection here in Portsmouth, man. If you from the area, you remember Ida Barber.
Yeah.
You remember how bad it was. You know, I wasn't here, but I heard the stories about how bad it was. And I talked to a real like OG from Ida Barber who went to jail for selling heroin. He did like 10 years, like, you know what I'm saying? So he told me all these stories about it. And
it was quite official over there.
He told me all these stories about it. And then I know that today that neighborhood is nothing but new houses, single family homes. It's affordable housing community. So the people in that community now have a chance to own that land that has such a bad name, you know, and Talley and Twine is one of the intersections there. So to me, it represents that transition. You don't have to finish the way that you started. So I thought that would be a good anchor to start the company on, you know, showing people that, hey, no matter where you're from, no matter how you start, no matter how many times you mess up, you can always get it right.
Nice. Now, you said growing up in Georgia, you went to high school in Georgia?
Yeah, and college. Yeah.
So, okay, in college. What were as far as, let's just start your music. Like, what do you like to listen to? Like, not just hip hop. Like, what are you into when you put on tunes?
I pretty much only listen to rap music. I pretty much only listen to rap music because you know, I am this sounds, you might understand what I'm saying, but music affects my mood, and I use it like when I'm in a certain mood to achieve a certain goal. So if I'm working, I like to have something on that I like. You know, sometimes I pick something high energy, but very rarely will I turn on an R&B song or something like that. I'm really not in that. I don't need music to calm me down. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
So I pretty much listen to rap music, man. And you know, the type of music I was brought up on Outkast, Goody Mob, so I really like, you know, Southern lyricists for the most part. Stuff like that is what I listen to.
We're gonna go ahead and break the ice right now. We normally kind of do this towards the end, but we're trying to give people a peek into who you are. We have this thing that we do called tit for tat 365, and what it is, it's a series of questions, and we want you to actually pick either or, man. You know, we don't want you to be on the fence with this. We want you to be definitive, like it seems like you are already. So you either picking this one or you picking that one. You know, don't straddle the fence. Like, just give us the raw uncut.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna start, and Philmatic's gonna finish. So I'm gonna start. All right, man. Big or Pac?
Pop.
Oh,
Okay.
this interview's over. No,
Too easy.
no.
DJ Premier or Pete Rock?
Or Pete Rock.
Yeah.
Pete Rock.
Okay. Midnight Marauders or Low End Theory?
Low End Theory.
Nice. All right, Air Jordan 3s or Air Jordan 11s?
3s.
All right. Magic Johnson or LeBron James?
Magic.
Oh, man. Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast off top. I love breakfast, and shout out to Phil for the Broken Egg Bistro recommendation, man. We're there all the time.
Yeah,
Fat boy the lights.
Fat boy the lights.
Fat boy the lights, yeah, man. Broken Egg Bistro is that work.
All right, I got one more, and then Phil's gonna take over.
Yeah.
College football or college basketball?
Basketball easy.
All right.
All right. A stiff arm or a crossover?
Crossover. Hot sauce. Shout out to hot sauce. So
Yes. Dave Chappelle or Chris Rock?
ooh, Dave Chappelle.
Uh,
That was the toughest one yet.
all right. Oh, well, it's about to get tougher. Goody Mob or Outkast?
Outcast. That was tough. That was tougher. But yeah, that was Outcast, clearly.
Rakim or
Only because Goody stopped making music, you know what I'm saying, around the time Cass got hotter. But I'm listening. Yeah.
True. Rakim or Big Daddy Kane?
Rakim.
Scenario or the Symphony?
Scenario.
Queens or Compton?
Compton, for sure.
No doubt. West Side. And lastly, Takeover or Ether?
Takeover. Although I have been swayed in recent years by the overwhelming support of Ether, but I always thought Takeover. I always liked it better.
You were correct, sir, in your answer.
I always wonder why people were like going crazy over that. I was like, nah, man, nah. I was such a big J fan at the time.
Now, I mean,
So like the thing about Takeover is, and a lot of people, when you're the king, you're the guy that's on the top. Like much like Jordan, Mike Jordan, the recording, as he called himself a lot of times. Like you just get tired. Like LeBron won those 4 MVPs. He might not get another one. So it's like people get fatigued. Like they just like, you know what, man, I'm tired of this guy, man. And Nas was somebody that had that nostalgia. He had that kind of somewhat of an underdog, even though he was like elite. He still had an underdog thing to him. So when he came back, it was like, yeah, finally somebody gave this dude what he needed. Like,
yeah, and it was somebody that was highly respected. You know what I mean? We knew he was a lyricist. I don't think anybody ever doubted that. But to me, I mean, Takeover.
I think everybody was so happy to have Nasty Nas back that really swayed a lot of the opinion as far as Ether, in my opinion.
Yeah, people just want to have competition too, and like he was just running over everybody at that time.
Better production.
Exactly.
Sure. Both of them were crazy. Don't get it twisted, but it was that's like so
Takeover's a better song. Like just
yeah.
I mean, we've had this conversation with many people, and there's people that will swear that Ether is not only is it a better song than Takeover, but it's the best diss song ever. And I'm like,
it's up there, bro. It's up there. It's got its own thing. It's got its own bird now.
I think the name Takeover is even tougher than the actual song. I'm talking about like as far as I meant to say Ether. When you say something got ethered, just because you can say it like that, you can.
Yeah, it was so original. Nobody was using that word before.
Yeah,
but I think you really,
crazy.
honestly, we can't really compare the two though, because one was an entire diss song, and one was a verse. You know what I'm saying? So you can. They really not they not apples to apples. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Plus, man, like at the end of the day, as much as I love Nas, I mean, obviously, but he ended up working for the dude. I mean, if you really would have busted down,
Jay always wins the long game, bro.
Yeah, yo,
always.
Yes.
He definitely won the war.
and even in this respect too, if you look at it like like Nas fans will say like Jay always wanted to have his respect, or Jay always wanted to be his friend in a sense. Like, you know, like Jay ended up winning in that.
Yeah, they're friends.
I mean, like I think that a lot of their issues came from the fact that I think Nas was a little bit more standoffish towards Jay, and that's just not something that he was used to. Like, he didn't really open himself up to a whole lot of people, and the fact that Nas was just like, yeah, I could do with or without you, it doesn't really matter. I think that was the part where he was just like, well, all right then, well, if you're not gonna get with me, then I'm gonna try to crush you.
Yeah. And I think
I ain't never been kicked out of nothing.
Yeah.
I think, man, like back to the diss songs, like to me, a diss song is a good diss song when you spitting facts and you really like getting at somebody with some information about Carmen. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like you joning on me and telling me my lips is big ain't really. You know, this is they tell me that on the school bus. So you ain't. You start spitting fact to me. That's what touched your soul. You know what I mean?
Nas was playing the dozens, and Jay was talking like, you know, actual, you know, documented things. Like when he's like, you know who did, you know, so what?
You can chase the timeline. You can trace the timeline and everything.
Yeah,
because people start
doing with Large Professor. You like, what year was that?
Yo, man, I can only imagine if they had social media. Man, you know, because you know how people is like true detectives on social media. They would have found out. They would have laid out. They would have had like the little joint with the push pins and the string, like with the timeline.
Fire emoji would mean ether right now.
Yeah, for sure. Man, coming from Georgia, man, where do you rank Andre 3000?
2 after Jay.
Woo!
2 after Jay.
I like that.
Man, you know people from Georgia really love Andre 3000, man.
Yeah, so, man, he could be the governor if he wanted to be.
I can't really name anything that he hasn't killed that he got on. So he one of my top artists.
Except the solo album, like that, he has to kill the solo album. That's the only thing I can ever say about him is like, and I know he can do it. It's not like he can't do it. He just.
You mean a solo rap album?
Yeah. Because I think that's the only thing for me. I think that's like he hasn't checked that box, and it like when you do the rankings for me personally, I hold it against him because he hasn't checked that box.
Yeah,
I feel like you have to be in that conversation. You have to do it at least one time. I
respect that, but it's like, he can never do that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why he hasn't released music, because I think he knows he can't top his status of where he is right now.
Oh yeah, he be chasing ghosts, and
People would never be satisfied with it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Include myself. Yeah. So you can't top those classic Outkast albums, and you can't top Love Below. There's no point in coming out and just rapping. You know what I'm saying?
he might as well just do what he does with the verses here and there.
No, I mean, I agree with you, but like I said, it's just one of those things. Like it's a catch-22 for him. Like he hasn't done it, and you're right. Like no matter what he does, he can have a brilliant album. People should be like, man, it wasn't AT-Aliens though. It wasn't AT-Aliens cast. I mean, 3 stacks on.
I hope he stays quiet. Just keep the allure.
Me too.
I definitely feel you got a good point on that.
No, I agree.
Would you want to see an Outkast album, though?
Say again?
Would you want to see another Outkast album?
Man, I'm always ready for another Outkast album.
Because like for us Tribe fans, man, it was bittersweet. With Fife passing last year in March, and then we ended up getting one of the best albums of the year in November, and it was just like, guys, like why does it take, tragedy in order for, for the art to end up coming out like that? And it was kind of one of the worst things that came out of it, I guess, was to find out that they had been in the works of kind of collaborating with Outkast. And but talk to us a little bit about like when you're actually you said mood music and some of the music that you play. If you're on your way to a big deal, or you're on your way to starting your day, a day that you know is going to be very important, that you're really going to have to put down some business, man, what's the soundtrack to that type of ambition?
Man, I need something that's like just real ignorant.
Yes.
Real street, you know, some with some 808s, you know what I mean? Just something that I'm like, that I don't have to really listen to, but I can get it, you know what I'm saying? When you hear something that, when you hear that intro, you like, okay, you know, I know how to feel right now, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Yeah. Phil, I wanted to ask you this too, and get you guys' opinion on this. So, with you raising a daughter, everybody that follows Phil on social media sees, Princess Z, some of the interactions. Man, Randy, how excited are you to be able to follow in those types of footsteps in terms of like bringing her into some of the music that you know and love, and kind of like teaching her the stuff that you like?
Yeah, man. Honestly, man, it's weird, man, because like, what can I relate it to? It's almost like, you want to. I'm actually more conscious of the stuff I listen to around her now. You know what I'm saying? Because she just started repeating after us. You know what I'm saying? So it's got me thinking like, dang, what am I playing when she is listening? You know what I mean? Because it's like young ears, if they hear stuff too soon, it's not necessarily a good thing if they're not ready to hear it. And so it's like they have to be mature enough. It's like Stan, you know what I'm saying? It's like if young ears and people get obsessed with celebrity and stuff, and they're really thinking Future is out here popping pills and doing this stuff. And I got a cousin, so I know this is true. I got a teenage cousin who loves Future and thinks that that's a cool thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Actually starts to emulate that. Whereas when I'm listening to Shawty Low, I don't want to go and sell no bricks. I just want to listen to dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can separate the entertainment from the reality.
Exactly. I know I'm not a real trapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's got me real conscious of like, what I listen to, and actually it's encouraging me to cut out a lot of background noise like TV, music, and just deal with her one-on-one. Because if you think about it, that's where the music comes from, real life. And we're getting away from it because we got so many distractions. Like, you go and you live your life, and then you're inspired to make an album called Daughters. You know what I'm saying? You don't just listen to music all day and then go make music. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Yeah.
So, that's what having a daughter has me thinking about right now.
Definitely, man. And I can say though, in those times where you do, just make sure you got the right playlist. Because I was in the car one time, and I'm everything's good. It's Tribe Called Quest. It's Common. And then somehow, some way, Twisted's Get It Wet comes in. It's yo, you never try to hit this.
And I don't have anything positive on my playlist. I'm almost certain. It might be one or two.
I have certain Z-friendly playlists.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Pete Rock, CL Smooth.
Yeah, from a different era. Right.
Yeah. It's just joints that work, that that fit. Like Can I Kick It is Z's favorite song. You can't go wrong with Can I Kick It. So, but
I don't listen to nothing like that, so I ain't.
Hey man, but you will find if you ever get in that situation, you'll never move that more fast in your life, man. I was like Usain Bolt with mine, man. But Yo, one of the questions I definitely wanted to ask you, man, and you have these dope timepieces. If you could have anybody wear one of your timepieces, who would it be? Like, if you say like this person is going to be the face of Talley and Twine, who would you give me 3 people that you would like to see wearing your watch?
3 people. One would be Michael B. Jordan, who is actually, he's with another watch company. Because I think Talley and Twine embodies, you know.
You need me to send the people? Get them out that deal?
Yeah. Make it happen. Make it happen.
Call Cowboy.
And hang him over the ledge, man, like sure. But I think people that embody the somebody who's up and coming, somebody who is, you know, next to blow, somebody who is on the verge, you know, whobody's still putting in work, trying to earn their respect. And I think, you know, that's the market that we're going after with Talley and Twine. So people like him, people like, you know, Ryan Coogler, who was his friend who's directing Black Panther. You know, these are the types of people that I think represent what Talley and Twine stands for.
Now, let me ask you this, man, because we're in some interesting times right now as far as Tiki Torch rallies and, you know, all these different things like this. But as a CEO, as a head of a company, someone that's interested in you know, the advancement of your interests, well, how do you feel? You know, suppose there was a supremacist that said, you know what, I like this, even though they may not even know that you're, you know, that it's your watch company. They probably don't even think Black people can do stuff like that. So they, you know, they might be wearing a watch. How do you feel about that? Like, is there room for discrimination when it comes to getting your product out there? Are you saying, you know, this is an equal opportunity type of thing? I want everybody to wear my watch no matter what.
I'm really like customer agnostic, because I don't know who buys them sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I got Trump supporters that buy Talley and Twine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but from my perspective, I feel like, you know, they will always, as an individual, know where I stand. They will always see what the company represents, see who we highlight, see the types of charities that we support, like on our community page. And they'll know where it's not my job to tell who's who in those types of situations, mainly because I'm glad you asked me that, though, because I had this conversation with somebody about, you know, supporting Black businesses. And, you know, she gave a reason that kind of leans to what you were saying, like knowing how would you know who the customer is, or how would you know who the owner of the company is? I think sometimes we don't really play stuff out, like, because if you really are trying to avoid white supremacy, can you ever?
Absolutely.
You know, so if you're an NFL fan, can you avoid white supremacy? Not when most of the owners donated over $1 million to Trump's campaign.
Yeah,
you can't avoid it.
You can't have a 9 to 5
if you switch
job
from Dove to another major brand, you can't really avoid it. not in America. You know what I'm saying? So even if, you know, say it again.
No, I was like, that's one of those things. Like, I mean,
say it again, Phil. I ain't hear you.
No, I was like, how could you have like a 9 to 5 job? I mean, because the major companies, you know, it's one of those things. Like, when in the world that we live in, you know, it's really unavoidable. You know, so
I agree. Like, who's gonna not take a job paying 6 figures because the granddaddy was in the KKK? You just gonna go in there and do your job and get your check so you can feed your daughter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing with the NFL. You know, if you spend all your life trying to attain this dream of playing in the NFL, you know, you're not gonna let one white supremacist stop you from playing the game. That's why I think it's historic what Colin has done, because he sacrificed it. You got to think, like, how much of your life you got to sacrifice to get good enough to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And to be a top performer, a top player, and then just like put that all on the line for what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? I think that's going to go down in history. you know, but at the same time, you got to respect the guys who say, I'm not doing that. You got to respect them just as much. You know what I'm saying? Because you really can't avoid it. And also, I think of it like this. I think about that a lot. Like if somebody wanted to buy my company and I didn't agree with their views, you know, but they offer me $100 million. And Jay has a famous line that says, I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. So I can't let my ego get in the way of me helping other people. You know what I'm saying? And creating generational wealth because I want to tell this white man to his face, no, you can't buy my company. We didn't sell out. You know what I'm saying? But it's people over here that are hungry. It's community facilities that can be built. It's all this stuff that I can do and create another stepping stool for somebody else. So, you know, it's something I think about a lot. But I think at the end of the day, you got to be practical. You got to play it out and see if it's something that actually can be done. And in most cases, especially with white supremacy, man, it really can't be done. Not in America. It's hard to avoid.
Yeah, man. And plus, I see you as one of those people. If somebody did buy the company for $100 million, you would take that $100 million and make it $200 million. Like,
right. It's just people are attached to businesses, I think, a lot way more than they should be. I've seen it happen. I've seen a guy, you familiar with, you probably heard of the name Murray's hair care.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was Murray's. I didn't think of the name. But anyway, it was the owner was offered deals like millions and millions of dollars to sell. And I met him and I talked to him and everything. And they're still in this, I don't even know if they're in business now, but at the time, it was about maybe 10 years ago, they're still in this little building that they were in when they started, this old decrepit building. They haven't grown. They never reached the heights that they could have reached because he wanted to keep all the ownership for himself and he didn't want to sell his company. You know, so the people who are telling you don't sell out at the same time, they're not buying your products anymore. They moved on to probably L'Oreal or somebody who actually is white owned anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make decisions based on your personal goals and remember why you started in the first place. So if, like, I started Talley and Twine to be financially independent, to create generational wealth. So I'm not taking a deal that's not going to allow me to do that. But if one does, it's worth considering.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, that's a funny thing about selling out. I don't agree with that when people say that now. It's one thing if you compromise yourself,
right,
and you compromise your family and you compromise your integrity to where you can't look yourself in the mirror at night. But if you're doing something like you said that's for the greater good and that you know is actually gonna, if one of your goals, like I think your goal, not your, but I'm saying one's goal should be to be in a position where they have people coming to them to quote unquote sell out, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Whatever, if you're the underground group, you know, that makes all of this great music and you're indie and you're under the radar, you should want to at least have people coming to you to start bidding wars or to start conversations that have you going to the next level, going to the majors. Even if you don't accept it, at least you know that you've made it to that level where
absolutely
you know, made yourself viable and valuable to the point where people want to do business with you.
I agree, man. It's like a normal conversation in business. If you're on a business, it's just called the exit strategy. You know, it's nothing new. You know, a lot of people build companies just to sell them. They already have the intention on selling them. You know what I mean? Because you know, at a certain point, there's this massive learning curve that another company who has done it before can accelerate. You know what I mean? So it's something that's built in for a lot of people. I mean, I think Jay said it best. I can't help the poor if I'm one of them. So you can go to the poorhouse, you know, trying to keep something for yourself, or you can, you know, create strategic partnerships like everybody who has made a significant amount of wealth has done in our community.
Yeah, I mean, they made a TV show about it. I mean, like Shark Tank, for example, is like one of those the shows where, you know, people have already have established products and they, you know, they get, you know, investors that have done this and, you know, they put money into it and they have to sell a piece of their company to get these people that in most of the cases are, you know, they end up helping them grow it further, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, in terms of just getting the youth to kind of get into this mindset that you're at, it sounds like you were at this point at a young age. What do you attribute your ability to discern what you wanted to do at such a young age, and how are we going to be able to pass that on to the next generation? What are some of the steps that we need to take in order to get like-minded individuals like you created?
Yeah, man. For me, I just wanted to change my situation. And from watching TV, the people I saw were successful. They were businessmen. And so when I was in elementary school, that's what I wanted to be. I just wanted to be a businessman. I didn't know what it meant fully, but I just wanted out of my situation. I was tired of eating that, that peanut butter with the oil on top of it. I was tired of eating that. I was tired of eating it, man. I was tired of eating the store bread. I don't want the store brand bread. I want Sunbeam. You know what I'm saying? I want brand name Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Not Frosted Crunch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Frosted Flakes in the bag.
Yeah, man. Like, and that's part of the reason why I'm not a sneakerhead to this day, man, because I couldn't afford sneakers. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by my grandmother. She wasn't buying no $100 sneakers. Like, so it was out. Like, so I went through a whole elementary, middle, and high school without having a pair. You know what I'm saying? So when I got to college, I didn't want a pair anymore. You know, I didn't even dress like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't get them. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, business was a way out. And, you know, I wasn't about to go and sell drugs. I know everybody who did that, it turned out very poorly for them. This was my way out. And how do we get it to the younger community is we got to, and the older community. Let's talk about the people our age,
sure,
who want to do stuff and who are terrified of doing it. We just got to have the conversation more often and show people, look, it's not rocket science. I mean, look at the president of the United States. You've heard him now for almost a year. He's an imbecile and he's a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to start a business. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do it with the right training, right conversation. You know what I'm saying? So a person like him, you know, who takes a small $1 million loan from their father, they have that conversation all the time in their household. And that's how that person can achieve that level of wealth, you know, very easily, you know, but we never had a conversation. And it makes it very difficult for us to benefit from the way that this current system is set up, because we don't know how it works. We don't know how to use it to our advantage.
Nice.
Well said.
Phil, I got one more question. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, do your thing.
How has technology helped you in the past 3 years? 3 years ago to now, how has technology helped Talley and Twine?
Hello?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah. Did you ask me something? I'm sorry. It went out.
Yeah. I said, just think back to 3 years ago, where you were, yes, and to where you are now. How has technology helped or changed Talley and Twine for you?
It's definitely helped. One of the biggest things is people are more comfortable. Every year, people get more comfortable buying things online. So I have a bit of a higher price item. And, you know, when I first started out, it was a big barrier. You know, people really wanted to see it and touch it. And as the years go on, I get fewer and fewer of those emails and calls on people saying, I want to see it first. You know, it's like people are used to actually buying stuff online. And it gets easier every year in terms of technology, because there's always a new app. There's always a new website. There's always a new software that can help you run your business and automate it in most cases. So you're able to automate a lot of things when you operate an internet first company. So it gets easier every year, and really it wouldn't be possible without technology. Especially for minority entrepreneurs, technology helps us lower those barriers to entry. That's the beautiful thing, and that's why I think it's such a great time to start a business. It's because all the resources are there. You just have to piece them together now, because we got the internet. So if you want to learn how to do something, you want to learn how to start a podcast, you can go online, take a few hours. In a few weeks, you can have a podcast up and running and be a well-oiled machine. But in the past, this stuff wasn't available to us. We might have to go down to the public library or go and actually physically buy a book. But this information is free. The vast majority of it is free on the internet. Everything that I learned about starting Talley and Twine, for the most part, especially starting up, was free. You know, so technology is it's a game changer, man. I wish more people realize the time we were in. Technology is not just for you to, you know, post about, you know, what you're wearing that day or what you ate. It's also about, you know, how can we use this to our advantage to better myself and my family.
No doubt. Now you mentioned you were getting emails and everything about the watch. What's some of the craziest things somebody's ever asked you about one of the products?
Besides discounts?
Yeah, but I mean that's you know everybody's gonna can I get 2 for $5? You know, but I mean like
I guess
I know some of the questions that we get. I can only imagine with the type of product you have, some of the questions that you've received.
It can get crazy sometimes, man. Like a couple things. Like one time, like I remember, like last year, a couple years ago, you know, we're internet based, right? So I had this guy call me, man, on some real pull up stuff. So he was like, "Man, I'm outside. Where's this place at?" I'm like,
"Yo, what address did he go
Who
to?
Who told you to come by here, man?" But it was a PO box. So it was, you know, it was a PO box.
Oh man.
So he was out at the plaza, like really like waiting, and it was a UPS store box at the time. He was like, you know, the people in the UPS store like, somebody came looking for you, man. Man, he seemed like he was angry. And I was like, what? So he really pulled up on me.
Oh man.
But other than that, man, I don't know how to feel when this happens, but y'all probably get something similar to this too. But I get a lot of people who are like, okay, make me this kind of watch and put this on it, like put my name on it, or like they kind of just want to take over your whole
they want you to be like a customizer.
Yeah, but like maybe like, okay, I want 5 watches, so put this on it, make it this color, like, you know, clearly like custom. I'm like, man, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? You're not talking about, I'm not drawing this stuff. I'm not making this stuff with my hands every day. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are the craziest requests that I get. And I'm like, man, you know, would you call another watch company and ask them that? You know, that's what bothers me the most about it. It's not the question, it's just the fact that I feel like, you know, because people know I'm an up and coming business, because they know who I am, and then I'm a black man, I feel like they challenge me to do stuff that they don't require from their counterparts or the bigger brands.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever get those those barterers, the people that be like, "Yo, I'll give you this for a watch"?
I used to get that early on, man, but not anymore.
Oh, that's
people
good.
just pretty much ask for discounts now. They just straight up ask for discounts.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Talk to us about Phil mentioned some of the places where your presence is being placed. Like, how does that come about? Like, how are you able to get placements and to get in front of certain types of eyes and certain types of people?
Man, I don't know, man. Just prayer, God, because I didn't request any of that stuff, man. Like, people just reached out to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. With the exception of like the Virginian pilot, we actually sent them information on the company because we were in the process of doing the Kickstarter campaign.
Okay.
And surprisingly, they responded. You know what I'm saying? But all the other stuff, man, like stuff just pops up. A lot of times people don't contact me. I just see it. So I had to set up a Google alert, you know, for myself and for Talley and Twine so that we know when we're actually getting covered or somebody speaking about us. So, you know, that's been a pretty cool thing. I've been so busy with the company. I haven't really had time to go out and do media requests, stuff like that. You know, people just, thankfully, man, people just contact me or they, you know, say, hey, look, I want to publish you in this magazine. So it's been cool.
Nice. Now tell us about some of the products, man, because I see all the different watches. I see different price points. So tell us about some of your more popular ones and anything you had coming up.
Yeah, man. We started off with leather and canvas bands because they were most cost effective, as a startup company, and then we eventually moved into the metal band watches, and by far the metal band watches are the top sellers. So that's what people want, and I'm glad we were able to reach that point because that was initially what we wanted to do, but you got to start somewhere. So we kind of built to that point. So we have that, and we're also this fall we're releasing some other accessories that go along with it. So we have some duffel bags, wallets. We already have toiletry bags. So we're trying to make sure that people who want to shop with us still have that option. You're still getting the same quality that you get from the watches, but it's other gift options available as well. And then also this fall, we're doing a women's line. So we'll have women's watches hopefully by middle of November.
Nice.
Very cool.
Feels like Christmas.
One of the things that I noticed, man, I'm a tennis fan. More specifically, Rafael Nadal. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but each tournament, you're a watch guy, so But yeah, him and Federer, man, each tournament, each major at least, they rock these insanely expensive watches. I think like 2 years ago for the French Open, the watch that Rafa had on was like $685,000 watch that he was playing tennis in. Where do they make these types of watches? I've never heard of anything costing that much. Like, are you familiar with that market? Who buys those types of, who besides like a tie?
Rafa Nadal.
But I'm saying besides like him, are there people like I don't even understand how that happens.
Is there a significant market for the $685,000 watch?
Yeah. Like those are one-on-ones, right?
they wouldn't make them if people didn't buy them. So,
yeah,
you know what I mean. That's just like that.
I guess my question is, what makes a watch cost $685,000?
I gotta be honest, man. Most of the time, it's just the inherent value that the customer places on it. You know what I mean? And that's really kind of why I started Talley and Twine, because some people are jacking up their prices because of the name, not factoring in the quality of it. You know what I mean? So I went to a trade show, I guess last month, and I saw a bunch of these high-end watchmakers and got a chance to talk to some people who work for those companies and things of that nature. And it's just like, in the watch industry, traditional watch industry, which I don't think I'm a part of, you check these certain boxes and people say, okay, that's a quality watch. You get it made in this country, you get it made with these materials, you get it made, with this particular movement that we've decided is the best movement. And, there you go. Now you have a luxury brand. And so that's what people are doing, even though the same quality is available in many different areas. So that being said, I did see a lot of these expensive watches. And what I learned, here's the trick. The $6,000 watch is not for mass consumers. The $6,000 is to influence the mass consumer like you, the viewer of the tennis match, to go and buy the $2,000 watch.
Gotcha.
So it just fuels the desire and the attachment to the brand. So you're like, man, there's no way I can ever get this $1 million tech, but I can go out and get this $5,000. You know what I mean? So it's really just a marketing strategy that they use to funnel the other watches. So a lot of people don't know it, but the best-selling Rolexes are the lowest price Rolexes. They have some that are $300,000 and up, but those aren't the ones that they make the money off of. The things that's creating the foundation for Rolex and keeping the value high and helping them make profit is the one that is the most affordable.
Nice.
So you'll see that happening with a lot of brands.
So it's the fashion house model. So like when you see the stuff on the runway, nobody ever has like the bird cage shoes,
Right.
but they have the regular, $200 pumps and not the $2,000 ones, but they sell a whole bunch of $200 ones.
Right.
So
they got fast fashion.
Got
So
you.
I think it's interesting how I was just at H&M last week, right? How they just snatch everything from the expensive people. So they're like, oh, Kanye making sweats with holes in it. We got that too. You know what I'm saying? $25. Let's go ahead and make it happen. So they're using the same model, it's just that they don't own the company that's making the expensive brand.
Got you. Man. I'm getting educated, Vod.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, I just learned a lot here. Going back to watches though, and just what we say about hip hop, like watches are a big part. I mean, even when you just look at some of the greatest songs of all time, almost every great classic song has a mention of a watch in it. If you think about it, like whether it's Slick Rick, whether it's Schoolie D, you think back to Put Your Rollies in the Sky. Yeah, I mean, Put Your Rollies in the Sky. PSK. I mean, it just really, like, watches are a huge deal. But Black people seem to always be on CP time, so that's kind of ironic. But talk to us a little bit about that, like how big like watches are. Like you see like rappers nowadays, like they get to bust down watches and whatnot, with all the diamonds and stuff like that. But just talk to us about like how you feel watches and your brand and your company fit into the hip hop generation, hip hop landscape.
Yeah, man, I think we don't fit into the hip hop landscape, not the traditional one. We fit into the new one. But we don't fit into the traditional hip hop landscape. And this is why. Because I think, man, we got to give credit to Jay and Dame and Diddy and Russell for recognizing that we are the ones pushing these brands to billionaire status. We're keeping them relevant. But they're turning around and not showing any love to our community. So I don't have a problem with the companies themselves. I'm more so disappointed in Black people as consumers, because how could you promote a company knowing, as a celebrity, how could you promote a company that A, you don't have a stake in, 2, that's not putting any money in your pocket or your community? And we do this all the time. So we elevate these designer brands, not only just watches, but also purses and whatever else you can name. We elevate these designer brands, but these designer brands don't even put you in their advertising. You don't see any Black wrists and Rolex advertisements, or, when they're in these glossy magazines in the Raw Report, you don't see any Black wrists or any of these Patek Philippe that you always hear people rap about. And to me, that's disrespectful to your dollar when they don't even care about you and they know you're doing free marketing for them. So at least, get a Black celebrity on board. You know what I'm saying? At least one of these guys should have a deal with them by now, right? But they don't, because it would alienate their other consumers. And so they don't do it. So where Talley and Twine fits is we're a brand that's for the culture. We're a brand that's of the culture, that's birthed out of it. We're in the vein of a Rockaware. We're in the vein of a Fat Farm. We're in the vein of Armadale, where we see an opportunity where, hey, we need to stop promoting this stuff from other people that's not affecting us, and let's get our own brands and stand behind them and see where we can go. And by no means am I asking anybody to switch from your favorite designer. I'm just saying that that's my mentality is, we're a brand that's on the rise. We're a brand that's on the come up, and you got to keep this in perspective. If you don't like something about a brand, if somebody goes out and create, like me, I created a watch company, you got to think who I'm up against. These companies are over 100 years old. So, you know, I try not to take it personally, but if you comment on my post as a black man and you say, well, it's not a Rolex, I'll just keep my Rolex.
Yeah.
I didn't say I was Rolex, bro. I'm not 200 years old. You can't, we're 3 years old. You can't compare me to them. You know, furthermore, you should be trying to send me a message and say, hey, look, can you do this? You know, this is what you can do to improve your watch. You know, give me a reason. Don't just blindly support a company that was founded while, you know, your relatives were still in slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's real, man.
You know, and give me a hard time and not give them a hard time. You know, so
yeah,
I think you know, it's on us as brands to, you know, number one, deliver a quality product and good customer service. But also the consumer has to be a little bit smarter, man. We can't take anything from anybody because this is the real empowerment that we have. This is the power that we have. You know, if people aren't supporting and respecting your dollar, we should take it away. We don't need to talk about it for 10 days on Facebook. You know, if somebody makes a racist ad, just stop buying. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to discuss it. We don't need to go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? If somebody supports your cause, if Eminem goes on and raps about Donald Trump, he supports black people's cause, don't go dig up something he said 20 years ago. Just take it. You know what I'm saying? Take the W. You know what I'm saying? He's on your team right now. It don't matter. Look, we're the only people who do that. You know what I'm saying? We want to go and dig in your past and say, hey, look, and spend time arguing when somebody is trying to help push what we're doing forward. And we need to just get on that train. And I think other cultures have done that effectively, and we have yet to. You know, I think, you know, our Jewish brothers and sisters, our Indian brothers and sisters, our LGBT community, and others have banded together and shown the power. Like, hey, if you disrespect us, this is what we're gonna do. That's it. You know, period, point blank. People issuing retractions. Nobody issuing retractions for the black community. They never apologize. They just keep doing it because they know we're gonna find a way to support. I'm sorry, y'all, but I just need to use my insert white brand that's been around for 300 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they can't get away from it.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's funny, like we were just saying, like those name drops, like that free advertising that happens in hip hop, like it's amazing. Like if Jay tomorrow, people's just like, yeah, and I got the new Talley and Twine, like we would be having a totally different conversation with you.
Oh yeah,
like, it would be crazy. Like literally, like
Great Poupon at the William House.
Yeah, man, it's almost like you got to recognize how rare stuff is. Like we don't need to spend time about talking about how ugly the Big Baller brand logo is. We don't need to spend time talking about how ugly the shoes are.
Right,
bruh. Are you gonna support it or not? If not, don't take away from what he's doing. You know, don't kill him online. You know what I'm saying? Don't call him an a-hole. Not you. You shouldn't be doing it. Let other people do that. He's gonna get bombarded with that. You know what I'm saying? We got to have this sense of community to show like, hey, look how innovative this is. This has never happened. You know, I don't care if the shoes are ugly. You know, we can redesign them. You know what I'm saying? But look how innovative this is, dog. This guy is 3-star basketball player. His son is a millionaire now. They have their own brand. Like, this is significant, bro. Bron didn't do this. You know what I'm saying? So we need to, like, just sit back, watch what he's doing. And if we don't like it, you don't have to buy it, but don't be a detractor of somebody who's doing something and fighting against the system. Don't make it harder for them. You know what I'm saying?
That was one of the biggest things. I had to step back because I was one of those people that was just like, I love what he was doing. I didn't like the way that he was doing it, but to your point, I just fell back. I was like, you know, you got to take shout out to my man Dev because he basically said it. He's like, you got to take LeVar on a case-by-case basis. But I try to stay as positive as possible. But one of the things that me and Vi talked about, him pulling his son out of school to homeschool him. What do you think about that?
I never read the story, but I will say he has the right to do that, and he has a pretty good track record of raising his sons. I mean, they're going to school for free. Even the one he pulled out of school already has a scholarship.
Yeah.
He's already going to UCLA. You know what I'm saying? So I think we kind of micromanage him. You got to keep in mind also, this kid ain't a regular kid. He can't just go to school anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not that far fetched.
We were talking about that. He's probably the most famous.
Yeah,
high
he's a
school
celebrity
of all time.
He's a celebrity, bro. I'm watching. You know how you go on the little search page on Instagram, and you can see like random stuff, and I'm seeing videos of him, and I'm clicking on it. It's fan pages, bro, with hundreds of thousands of people. Like, he's a high school. You know what I'm saying? So
he's more famous than LeBron was at this same point, which is crazy when you think about it. It's because we know what LeBron was when he was a teenager.
Yeah, and now
this kid is more famous than him.
Yeah, and now they have a TV show, so millions of people are seeing him. They have a TV show with Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So he's not a regular kid. I think,
Randy,
like you said, LeVar's track record is like, I'm a good dad, obviously. So, you know what I'm saying? If he feels the need to do that, obviously he felt that it was necessary.
Randy, you know basketball. You're somebody that watches basketball. Like, I don't even know if LaMelo can play ball like that. Like, I watch these clips of him, and I'm like, I like, it's certain people. Like, when I saw Sebastian Telfair, when I saw Stephon Marbury, when I saw, other point guards that weren't as tall or, as him, I was like, ooh, okay, like, giving work. When I see Melo, I'm like, okay, like, show, so that's what I'm saying. Like, LeVar has even gotten it to the point where it doesn't even matter if he can play or not. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, he's like, I got all three of my boys got scholarships, and you know what, Melo, you might not even go. You might not even go to college. But you're for sure not
playing overseas.
Yeah,
he might be playing overseas, getting a check, getting ready for the NBA.
Yeah,
man. Yep. I mean, I feel like, if your brother went #1 in the draft and you practice and play against them, like, you got to be kind of good. You know what I'm saying? And I know people like had negative things to say about him scoring 92 points, but it's amazing, bro.
It's still 92 points at the end of the day, yeah.
I don't care where he was shooting from. I don't care how, bro. If somebody was trying to score 92 points and the whole team and the other team were trying to help them score 92 points, most people couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If the team just got the ball and passed it to him and said, "Hey, score," it would still be difficult to score that. You know what I'm saying? So
they play what? They play 4 10-minute quarters in high school.
Yeah.
You give me.
It's not even 10. I think it's 8.
It's 8 4. So you got 32 minutes. Yeah, I'm not scoring 90.
That's not scoring 92. Bro. That's miraculous. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he owns something, man. But I really like what he's doing, and I think he's creating opportunities for him, whether they make it in basketball or not. And I think that's the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? And you can't even get your kid to show up to class. You need to be quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Nah, man, you bring up a good point, man. We appreciate you taking some time out. What we do, man, as far as having our guests on here, man, Phil has already explained to me, and I know just from, Phil's my brother. I know, what you mean to him, what your family means to him, and vice versa. So we appreciate you coming on the show, and you are, you're Tissue and the Tape family, man. So we want to make sure that we don't take too much of your time now, because we obviously want to have you come back on the show again. But we definitely wanted to introduce you and Talley and Twine Watch Company to our listeners, to our people that follow us. Tell us something. Tell us one more thing that we need to know about some of the things that you're doing, so that we can keep an eye out for that. So that next time we talk to you, we can come up with something else to talk about.
Yeah, man. I think the biggest thing is, man, we're building a brand. You know what I'm saying? And the messages that I get by the people who are inspired by people telling me that their little brother or their cousin or somebody in their family is inspired to start a business because they saw a video of me on Facebook, man, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what it's about. It's about inspiring people. So even if, Talley and Twine gets only here, the person who comes after me should get here. You know what I'm saying? They should stand on my shoulders. They should see what I do and get even better than me. And so we're all about, becoming an integral part of the community and supporting other organizations that are doing the work, because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is just a tool. It's not the end game. It's a tool that creates financial freedom, that creates opportunity, that gives you economic power in the marketplace to do something to affect somebody's life. And that's what we got to realize. That's why we're here, to affect another person's life. You're not here just to breathe and work and pay bills and die. It's about making a positive change, doing something to make somebody else's life better. And that's what Talley and Twine represents. So hopefully next time you speak to me, we'll be doing some other cool projects that typically you wouldn't see a watch company do. But just know, the company that's for the culture is Talley and Twine.
Talk to them.
Period. I don't see anybody else out here moving like we're moving. You know what I mean? So I'm asking everybody, pay attention to what we're doing, follow us, and if you like the products, take it for a spin.
Well, tell them where they can follow you and where they can get the products.
On Facebook and Instagram, it's Talley and Twine. That and is spelled out TALLEYAND TWINE. I'm sure the link will be in the show notes.
Absolutely.
I got something special for the listeners before I go. Got a special code for everybody listening. So it's TITT10, TITT10.
Yeah.
For 10% off of any timepiece on our website.
See?
That's right.
Make sure people get that, Phil. Don't keep it for yourself, man.
I'm about to be in here like Juvie, like with all the watches. You're like, whoa. Big timing out this June.
No, man, we appreciate your time today, man.
Absolutely, man.
We got to do this again, and like you said, man, we're looking forward to both of our companies being in different positions. Next time we do this, man. So we appreciate you, Randy Williams, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
man. I told y'all. Told you the real one.
Yeah. Man, we're gonna do this again, man. We appreciate you, and again, man, Talley and Twine. We TITT10. Let's get it, everybody.
No doubt.
Yeah. Philmatic, man, on that note, man, take us out with the fader.
Okay, gang. You already know what it is, man. I told y'all, man, we had a treat for y'all. One of the realest people I know, one of the most genuine people I know. My brother Randy Williams. I've known him for quite some time. And that's legit family. He's official tissue. He came in bearing gifts, giving out discounts. You know what I mean? And it's anytime I can support people I know and love, and that actually not only have a quality product but are doing things for the community. And that's not just slick talk. That I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the give back. I've seen them do the Father's Day brunches. I've attended the Father's Day brunch. So this what he says is real as it gets. So enough talking from me, man. You already know what it is. TITT10. Get that 10% off at tallyandtwine.com, at tallyandtwine on the social medias. And you know how we do, Vibe. We work for the money, we live for the love, and we die for what we believe in. This is Tissue and the Tape. Respect, he Holderz.
Shit.